Shankararana, I'm not exactly able to recall the name, but around something like that. So that sannyasi comes from Vrindavan and he gives these two things to Mahaprabhu. And for 2 years actually, Mahaprabhu, whenever he was in great ecstasy, this was in his Antalila last time. So in Gambhira, whenever he's in great ecstasy, he would actually hold this Govardhan Shila, he would cry. He was constantly, it was wet with the tears of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he considered them his most favorite. And he was so pleased with Raghunath Das Goswami that he actually offered these two to Raghunath Das Goswami. So we would like to sing one bhajan before we read the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So begging for Lord Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. Because only with that we will be able to little bit understand what it is. Prabhuji, you can put Nitai Pada Kamala. Nitai Pada Kamala, Koti Chandra Shushitala. Yeah, okay. Nitai space Pada. Yeah, first one. Yes. Nitai Pada Kamala, Koti Chandra Shushitala. Nitai Pada Kamala, Koti Chandra Shushitala. Je chaya jagat jurai, je chaya jagat jurai. Ananitai bine bhai, Radha Krishna paite nai. Ananitai bine bhai, Radha Krishna paite nai. Drira kare dharanitai pai, Drira kare dharanitai pai. Se sambandha nahi jai, Vritha janma gelo tar. Se sambandha nahi jai, Vritha janma gelo tar. Se pashu bara durachar, se pashu bara durachar. Nitai na balila mukhe, majila samsara sukhe. Nitai na lila mukhe, majila samsara sukhe. Vidya kule ki karibe tan, Vidya kule ki karibe. Ahankare mata hoya, Nitai pada pasariya. Ahankare hoya, Nitai pada pasariya. Asatere satta kari mane, Asatere satta kari mane. Nitayar karuna habe, ব্রজে রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাবে, তায়ের করুণা হবে। ব্রজে রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাবে, দৃঢ় করে ধরণে তার চরণ দুখানে, ধরণে তাই চরণ দুখানে। নিতায়ের চরণ সত্য, তাহার সেবক নিতা। নিতায়ের চরণ সত্য, তাহার সেবক নিতা। নিতাই পদ সদা কর, নিতাই পদ সদা কর। নরতম বর দুঃখী, নিতাই মোরে কর সুখী। নরতম বর দুঃখী, নিতাই মোরে কর সুখী। রাখ রঙ্গা চরণের পান, রাখ রঙ্গা চরণের পান। Can you read the translation? The lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are a shelter where one will get the soothing moonlight not only of one but of millions of moons. If the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter of Lord Nityananda. Unless one takes shelter under the shade of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, it will be very difficult for him to approach Radha Krishna. If one actually wants to enter into the dancing party of Radha Krishna, he must firmly catch hold of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Anyone who has not established his relationship with Nityananda Prabhu is understood to have spoiled his valuable human birth. Such a human being is actually an uncontrolled animal, because he never uttered the holy name of Nityananda. He has become merged into so-called material happiness. What can his useless education and his family tradition do to help him? Being maddened after false prestige and identification with the body, one is thinking, oh, what is Nityananda? What can he do for me? I don't care. The result is that he is accepting something false to be truth. If you actually want to approach the association of Radha Krishna, you must first achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda. When he is merciful towards you, then you will be able to approach Radha Krishna. Therefore, you should firmly grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. The lotus feet of Nityananda are not illusion, they are a fact. One who engages in the transcendental loving service of Nityananda is also transcendental. Always try to catch the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. This Narottam Das is very unhappy. Therefore, I am praying to Lord Nityananda to make me happy. My dear Lord, please keep me close to your lotus feet. So what we are going to do now is we will read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this coming Tuesday is this Panihati festival. So we should all celebrate. Yes, yes, Prabhuji. So the celebration is exactly in the footsteps of Raghunath Das Goswami and how the festival happened. So what exactly happened is that this Raghunath Das Goswami arranged this Cida and Dahi. So you can buy the Cida and you can buy Dahi, yogurt, chip, poha. Yeah, poha you can buy. So this Cida you can try with both. So I'm not exactly the I don't have command so much on cooking, but I can say that you can try both if there is a confusion. But yogurt, and you can have some fruits. Gur, especially tasty. Sugar also you can mix. Some dry fruits as well as mango, other fruits. You mix, prepare a nice chira dahi. Other fruits like raisins you can mix. Whatever other fruits you can mix, make it a wonderful banana, mango, other fruits you can give, strawberry, so many other things. And that wonderful thing you can offer to Gaur Nitai or whoever other deities may have at your home. And then you can come to temple or call devotees to do bhajan in your home, sankirtan, or you can come to temple and then also you can distribute that chira dahi to all your neighbors as prasadam. And then another great important thing is this Antalila chapter 6, text number 43 to 100 describes this pastime. So you can actually go through it, read it, and then exactly that's what we're going to do now. You can read and it's the same thing. So when you read, Lord, this non-different, like Lord is non-different from his katha. So like that you can absorb yourself. So that's the way to celebrate. So we are just preparing for that. So what I'm going to do now is all of us will take turn, and you can also please give your comments as we read. You can stop at verses, and if you have any realization or other things, please feel free to. It's like a discussion. I'm just coordinating that. Since I know Bengali, and I'll just read Bengali, and translation you can read, right? Will that go? Maybe each person can read 5. So like that, let us at least try to cover 43 to 100. Okay. So it's chapter 6, Prabhu. Antalila chapter 6. Yeah. So we are so fortunate that we have this privilege to actually read Chaitanya Charitamrita and exactly what Raghunath Das Goswami was describing, which he directly saw in his own eyes. We have access to it. I want to just read first, can you go to text 12, Prabhuji? Yeah. You can maybe have chapter view. Yeah, 12. Okay, that's fine. No need to click on that. No need. Because, that's fine. So I'll just read the Bengali. You can read English. Ei mata bihare gaura laya bhaktagan Raghunatha. I'm sorry, before we start, there is one verse we should. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So I'm reading text 12 and 13, and then we'll go to 29 because these two are very important. Ei mata bihare gaura laya bhaktagan Raghunatha milan ebe suna bhaktagan.
The Lord thus enjoyed his life with his devotees. O devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now hear how Raghunath Das Goswami met the Lord.
Prabhuji, is it possible to have that verse also there? Verse and translation? Can we have those two? Maybe advanced view or something? Or you can directly click whatever. No, only what I want is only the verse and the translation. Translation, no synonyms. You can go to the advanced view, chapter view, advanced view, and then go back button. Go all the way up, advanced view, right there.
All the way on top. Up.
And just select verse, text, and translation. Rest of the thing just dialectics. Okay, that's fine. Okay, go ahead. And 13. পূর্বে শান্তিপুরে রঘুনাথ যাবে আইলা মহাপ্রভু কৃপা করি তারে শিখাইলা.
When Raghunath Das, during his family life, went to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Shantipur, the Lord gave him worthy instructions by his causeless mercy.
প্রভুর শিক্ষাতে তোহ নিজ ঘর যায় মর্কট বৈরাগ্য ছাড়ি হইলা বিষয় প্রায়.
Instead of becoming a so-called renunciant, Raghunath Das, following the instructions of the Lord, returned home and played exactly like a pounds and shillings man.
ভিতরে বৈরাগ্য বাহিরে করে সর্বকর্ম দেখিয়া তো মাতা পিতার আনন্দিত মন.
Raghunath Das was inwardly completely renounced, even in family life, but he did not express his renunciation externally. Instead, he acted just like an ordinary businessman. Seeing this, his father and mother were satisfied.
মথুরা হইতে প্রভু আইলা বার্তা যাবে পাইলা প্রভু পাশ চলিবারে উদ্যোগ করিলা.
When he received a message that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had returned from Mathura city, Raghunath Das endeavored to go to the lotus feet of the Lord.
হেনকালে মুলুকের একমলিচ্ছা অধিকারী সপ্তগ্রাম মুলুকের সে হয় চৌধুরী.
At that time there was a Muslim official collecting the taxes of Saptagram.
হিরণ্য দাস মুলুক নিল মকরি করিয়া তার অধিকার গেল মরে সে দেখিয়া.
When Hiranyadas, Raghunath Das's uncle, made an agreement with the government to collect taxes, the Muslim Chaudhuri, or tax collector, having lost his position, became extremely envious of him.
12 লক্ষ দেয় রাজায় সাধে 20 লক্ষ সে তুরুক কিছু না পাইয়া হইল প্রতিপক্ষ.
Hiranyadas was collecting 2 million coins and therefore should have delivered 1.5 million to the government. Instead, he was giving only 1.2 million, thus making an extra profit of 300,000 coins. Seeing this, the Muslim Chaudhuri, who was a Turk, became his rival.
রাজাগারে কৈফিয়া দিয়া উজিরে আনিল হিরণ্য দাস পালাইল রঘুনাথারে বন্ধিল.
After sending a confidential account to the government treasury, the Chaudhuri brought the minister in charge. The Chaudhuri came wanting to arrest Hiranyadas, but Hiranyadas had left home. Therefore, the Chaudhuri arrested Raghunath Das.
প্রতিদিন রঘুনাথে করে ভর্ৎসনা বাপ জ্যাঠারে আনো নাহে পাইবে যাতনা.
Every day the Muslim would chastise Raghunath Das and tell him, "Bring your father and his elder brother, otherwise you will be punished."
মারিতে আনয়ে যদি দেখে রঘুনাথে মন ফিরি যায় তবে না পারে মারিতে.
The Chaudhuri wanted to beat him, but as soon as he saw Raghunath's face, his mind changed and he could not beat him.
বিশেষে কায়স্থ বুদ্ধে অন্তরে করে ডর মুখে তর্জে গর্জে মারিতে সভয়ে অন্তর.
Indeed, the Chaudhuri was afraid of Raghunath Das because Raghunath Das belonged to the Kayashta community. Although the Chaudhuri could chastise him with oral vibrations, he was afraid to beat him.
তবে রঘুনাথ কিছু চিন্তিলা উপায় বিনতি করিয়া কহে সেই ম্লেচ্ছ প্রায়.
While this was going on, Raghunath Das thought of a tricky method of escape. Thus he humbly submitted this plea at the feet of the Muslim Chaudhuri.
আমার পিতা জ্যাঠা হয় তোমার দুই ভাই 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 এ তোমরা কলহ কর সর্বদাই।
My dear sir, my father and his elder brother are your brothers. All brothers always fight about something.
কবু কলহ কবু প্রীতি ইহার নিশ্চয় নাই, কালী পুন তিন ভাই হইবা একঠাই।
Sometimes brothers fight among themselves, and sometimes they have very friendly dealings. There is no certainty when such changes will take place. Thus I am sure that although today you are fighting, tomorrow you three brothers will be sitting together in peace.
আমার যাইছে পিতার তৈছে তোমার বালক, আমি তোমার পাল্য তুমি আমার পালক।
Just as I am my father's son, so I am also yours. I am your dependent, and you are my maintainer.
পালক হইয়া পালে রে তারিতে না জুজায়, তুমি সর্বশাস্ত্র জানো জিন্দ পীর প্রায়।
For a maintainer to punish the person he maintains is not good. You are expert in all the scriptures. Indeed, you are like a living saint.
এত শুনি সেই ম্লেচ্ছের মন আর্দ্র হইল, দাড়ি বহি অশ্রু পরে কাঁদিতে লাগিল।
When the Muslim heard Raghunath Dasa's appealing voice, his heart softened. He began to cry, and tears glided down his beard.
ম্লেচ্ছ বলে আজি হইতে তুমি মোর পুত্র, আজি ছাড়াইমু তোমা করি এক সূত্র।
The Muslim Chaudhary told Raghunath Dasa, "You are my son from this day on. Today, by some means, I shall have you released."
উজিরে কহিয়া রঘুনাথে ছাড়াইল, প্রীতি করি রঘুনাথ কহিতে লাগিল।
After informing the minister, the Chaudhary released Raghunath Dasa and then began to speak to him with great affection.
তোমার জ্যাঠা নির্বুদ্ধি অষ্টলক্ষ খায়, আমি ভাগি আমারে কিছু দিবারে জুজায়।
Your father's elder brother is less intelligent. He said he enjoys 800,000 coins, but since I am also a shareholder, he should give some portion of it to me.
যাহ তুমি তোমার জ্যাঠারে মিলিহ আমারে, যে মতে ভালো হয় করুন ভার দুই দিলু তারে।
Now you go arrange a meeting between me and your uncle. Let him do whatever he thinks best. I shall completely depend on his decision.
রঘুনাথ আসি তবে জ্যাঠারে মিলাইল, ম্লেচ্ছ সহিত বস কইল সব শান্ত হইল।
Raghunath Dasa arranged a meeting between his uncle and the Chaudhary. The matter was settled and everything was peaceful.
এই মত রঘুনাথের বৎসরে কো গেল, দ্বিতীয় বৎসরে পলাইতে মন কইল।
In this way, Raghunath Das passed 1 year exactly like the first class business manager, but the next year he again decided to leave home.
এই মতে রাত্রি উঠি একলা চলিল পালাইয়া, দূর হইতে পিতা তারে আনিল ধরিয়া।
He got up alone one night and left, but his father caught him in a distant place and brought him back.
এই মতে বারে বারে পলায় ধরিয়ানে, তবে তার মাতা কহে তার পিতা শনে।
This became almost a daily affair. Raghunath would run away from home and his father would again bring him back. Then Raghunath Das's mother spoke to his father as follows.
পুত্র বাতুল হইল ইহায় রাখহ বান্ধিয়া, তার পিতা কহে তারে নির্বিঘ্ন হইয়া।
Our son has become mad, she said. Just keep him by binding him with ropes. His father, being very unhappy, replied to her as follows.
ইন্দ্র সম ঐশ্বর্য স্ত্রী অপ্সরা সম, এ সব বন্ধিতে নারী লেক যার মন।
Raghunath Das, our son, has opulences like Indra, the heavenly king, and his wife is as beautiful as an angel. Yet all this could not tie down his mind.
তৈরীর বন্ধনে তারে রাখিবা কেমাতে, জন্মদাতা পিতা নারে প্রারব্ধ খণ্ডাইতে।
How then could we keep this boy home by binding him with ropes? It is not possible even for one's father to nullify the reactions of one's past activities.
চৈতন্য চন্দ্রের কৃপা হইছে ইহারে, চৈতন্য চন্দ্রের বাতুল কে রাখিতে পারে।
Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has fully bestowed his mercy on him. Who can keep home such a madman of Chaitanya
Chandra.
Chandra?
তবে রঘুনাথ কিছু বিচারিলা মনে নিত্যানন্দ গোসাইয়ের পাশ চলিলা আর দিনে.
Then Raghunath Das considered something in his mind, and the next day he went to Nityananda Gosai.
পানিহাটি গ্রামে পাইলা প্রভুর দর্শন কীর্তনীয় সেবক অঙ্গে আর বহুজন.
In the village of Panihati, Raghunath Das obtained an interview with Nityananda Prabhu, who was accompanied by many kirtan performers, servants and others.
So we'll just pause a little bit here before we proceed. Just anybody has any comments, realization or anything you want to add? Just
Mike.
Yes, he was married, and that's what his parents are discussing, that his mother is suggesting that bind him with a rope, and he's telling this big opulence, beautiful wife, nobody could bind. So what a little rope will do.
Hare Krishna. I was reminded of Sanatana Goswami, who also ended up in jail.
Yes.
So, and then thinking about that, also some devotees, when the movement started, especially in Russia, but also here in America, in the beginning, devotees were arrested and detained for doing the Sankirtan.
Yeah, and in this context, that's true. Actually, you can see all of them are so much successful, right? Materially, all of them are so much opulence they had. Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they are successful. They had ministers, but they left all to become just a beggar, mendicant, and because that removes all the distractions, and then he could just focus on the Lord. So they were actually truly renunciation. And same also we can see Prataprudra Maharaj, although he had so many things, he was a king, but also he was a renunciate, having everything. So it's basically the state of the mind. As we also saw in a few verses back that Mahaprabhu is telling, under Mahaprabhu's instruction, he was acting just like a perfect pound shilling man. Same instruction Mahaprabhu gave to Rup Sanatan also, that you work with full attention, and then but inside you are always meditating on the Lord. So similarly, a devotee, as devotees we have to do so many things, right, for survival, but inside we can always feel the longing that when shall I come and serve the Lord, or when shall I open the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita and read, or some for remembering or serving the Lord. So that Arjun, Duryodhan, both they did the same thing, activities. A devotee may do the activity, but inside he is always remembering the Lord. And also I remember one pastime here, Giriraj Maharaj, right? So his parents told him that if you come back to US and practice devotional life here, then I'll give you $1 million. But he stayed back in Bombay, where there's mosquito, rats, they didn't have proper facility also. And people around were more dangerous than the mosquito and rats. But he tolerated it. But he told his father, no, for me, serving to my guru is worth millions of dollars. So that's why you can see that many people, they may have a lot of things, but inside the heart is empty. But one may not have anything, and he may be completely satisfied with the devotional thing. So it doesn't matter whether one has or doesn't have. But if we can be humble and we can keep our focus on the lotus feet of the Lord, then we are satisfied. Our life is successful. Yes, Prabhuji, thank you for making that point. Any other thing?
About that thing, you mentioned that he started eating, even the cow rejected it. His senses were totally in control. His tongue was not looking for taste. His mind was totally absorbed. So that's why he could not differentiate between any tasty of those prasadam or the prasad which is left by the cow. And above that, I have noticed people who have had everything, and even getting everything, they don't get satisfaction. Then they look for something which can give them satisfaction. So they become more renounced than the person who are, who did not get yet, but they are craving for it. So I mean, like, it is not necessary that one has to have something and then leave it, but it is all about your mentality. People I have seen, they have everything, still they are craving for more. And they get more after a year, then still they are craving and looking for more. So it is like my Guruji told me, it is like you eating food and not giving a chance to a burp to come, so that you get signal, oh, no more, you cannot eat anymore. But they are eating and eating and eating, they are not even caring for the burp, and they keep eating. So
yeah, good point actually. That's why you see, even many people, they are so successful, but they are so empty. They are looking for more, and sometimes they commit suicide actually. If they have everything, why they have to commit suicide? But a simple person having nothing, he can be quite satisfied and happy. Right? So it just, the things of this world, it's like a skin disease, it just gives some itching sensation. It excites our mind. It doesn't really satisfy. The satisfaction is in the holy name of the Lord, right? That is why Raghunath Das Goswami ran away from billionaire. We are trying to run towards the billions. He is trying to run away from the billions. And his parents are catching him and putting. And he is completely satisfied with and to the extent he was so renounced, right? Sometimes he would do his bhajan, he would do his chanting, and he was so absorbed that one occasion there was a tiger looking at him in Vrindavan. And our dear Shyam Sundar Krishna, he came with a stick to chase away the tiger. And that was noticed by Sanatana Goswami. Another occasion, he was so absorbed that he was just chanting. And Vrindavan sun is really strong, and it was summer, and strong sun pouring on his head. Radharani herself comes and pallu, his shari, and he puts on Raghunath Das Goswami so that his chanting is not disturbed. And Radharani herself is sweating. So seeing that, Sanatana Goswami chastises him. What is this? Although he is not doing purposefully, we are supposed to, in the Bhakti Yoga, we are supposed to serve. Right? So the difference between Bhakti Yoga and other yogas is that there we try to take some service, or somebody wants to become God. But in Bhakti Yoga, it's just service. And we are satisfied just doing service. We don't want to take service from anybody. We want to serve the Lord, we want to serve the Lord's devotees. So what is that you are doing? So then, under their instruction, he constructs a hut, and in the hut he does his bhajan, his project.
Well, what that really brings out is his humility, because he didn't really want a kutir, but then when he was told, then he accepted it.
Yes.
And the same when he showed up in Vrindavan, he had planned to commit suicide.
Right.
And so a lot of people in this world, they suffer from depression, as you just mentioned. They have a lot, but they're not satisfied, and sometimes the only way out, they think, is by way of ending their lives. And so we see that devotees have also sometimes the same tendency, for a different reason, because they feel the separation of the Lord so intensely that they don't want to live in this world anymore. But then when he showed up, Rupa and Sanatana were so excited because he knew all the pastimes in Puri, and they said, stay. They gave him service, and because he had service of speaking the Leela, he stayed and did not act upon his desire to end his own life.
Wonderful. And see what a great fortune we have. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada also, he wanted to distribute this to everybody. So he wrote this great Chaitanya Charitamrita. Kaviraj Das Goswami's same books he translated so that everybody, whether you know Bengali or not, doesn't matter. Everybody can read, and there is the same instruction. What a great fortune, what a great connection he has given. And it's today we can appreciate those devotees in Los Angeles, like who within a 1 month, all this printing, publishing, picture, drawing, and everything was done. It's such a great trouble they took. Day and night, in 1 month, they were just 24 hours they were working. Prabhupada also sleepless nights he spent just to give this great knowledge. Otherwise, how will you know? How we can discuss Panihati if this is not available, right? So it's such a great, that compassion of Srila Prabhupada and those devotees who obeyed their order. So initially the devotee said it is impossible, but after, when they did it, all of them were crying actually, tears. So it is in the same mood of surrender that Raghunath ran for with the intensity 10 days. So we still have access to all these great things, and we ourselves can do that. So everybody, it enables everybody actually to do. That's the greatest pleasure of a devotee, that he wants everybody else to have this privilege. That is the difference between a Brahmin and a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is compassionate, right? He reaches out, and a Vaishnava is paradukho dukhi, right? He delivers. So it's not just knowing information, lot of slokas, but also that compassionate mood of giving this mercy to everybody, reconnecting with everybody. So we can really appreciate and be grateful for Srila Prabhupada to make this great treasure available to us, and we can just go through it and derive the benefit. We can meditate on the past times. It is exactly, can we imagine how great fortune it is that Mahaprabhu, who appears only in like one day of Brahma, that in a very specific time, only 500 years back he appeared, and Srila Prabhupada and Raghunath Das Goswami heard those pastime, narrated in the lectures. Kabiraj Goswami at 90 years of age, he wrote this. And Prabhupada, again it was kind of lost, but Prabhupada, he so mercifully translated this English language. These English slokas were never there before, but all these innovative ideas, and now it's accessible to all of us. It's there in the internet, we can buy the books, and we can just read it and meditate on the pastime. Yes, Prabhu.
Well, one detail came to mind. I really like hearing the different pastimes, especially in the history of ISKCON. And we hear about this great marathon, that there's so many books were published so fast. I heard Rameshwar Prabhu give some details of how phenomenal it was, what they had to achieve. They were all very young, in their early 20s. And so one of the things that they had to overcome, which was a major point, is that in the printing, in order to make money in printing, the printing runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's planned out many, many, many weeks, if not months in advance. So what they had to do is they had to find a printer who would tell their clients, you're on the books, but we're going to not print your books, we're going to print for ISKCON. So that was just, they didn't, and in the beginning they didn't even know that that was a requirement. So that's something that they actually were able to do. They were able to find a printer who told existing clients, we're not going to print your stuff, we're going to print this other. So what they did was so phenomenal, that in so many, many details, and they got it done because they had trust in Srila Prabhupada, and they did it.
Amazing, amazing actually. This gives us so much inspiration to us that we can also do some contribution, something we can do wholeheartedly in the Lord's service that will actually please Prabhupada, it will please Gauranga Mahaprabhu, it will please Lord Nityananda. Even we can do it. We can do something. But these great stories are an inspiration for us, that we can also follow in their footsteps and do some seva. One of the great things is Srila Prabhupada created so many services, right? And all of us can wholeheartedly do this. Yes, Prabhuji.
My Guruji told me that you can find a good thing in every bad thing. So he said, don't look that Britishers came to India to exploit for 200, 300 years. They came to teach English language to Prabhupada. yeah. That's how you take it, you know. So Prabhupada learned the English and he distributed Krishna, consciousness to whole world.
Very well. Okay, we'll continue. Okay, text 44. গঙ্গা তীরে বৃক্ষমূলে পিণ্ডার উপরে বসিয়াছেন যেন কোটি সূর্যোদয় করে. Text 44.
Sitting on a rock under a tree on the bank of the Ganges, Lord Nityananda seemed as effulgent as hundreds of thousands of rising suns.
তলে উপরে বহু ভক্ত হইয়াছে বেষ্টিত, দেখি প্রভুর প্রভাব রঘুনাথ বিস্মিত.
Many devotees sat on the ground surrounding him. Seeing the influence of Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das was astonished.
দণ্ডবত হইয়া সেই পরিলা কত দূরে, সেবক কহে রঘুনাথ দণ্ডবত করে.
Raghunath Das offered his obeisances by falling prostrate at a distant place. And the servant of Nityananda Prabhu pointed out, there is Raghunath Das offering you obeisances.
শুনি প্রভু কহে চোরা দিলি দর্শন, আয় আয় আজি তোর করিমু দণ্ডন.
Hearing this, Lord Nityananda Prabhu said, you're a thief. Now you have come to see me. Come here, come here. Today I shall punish you.
প্রভু বলে তোহ নিকটে না করে গমন, আকর্ষিয়া তার মাথে প্রভু ধরিলা চরণ.
The Lord called him, but Raghunath Das did not go near the Lord. Then the Lord forcibly caught him and placed his lotus feet upon Raghunath Das's head.
কৌতুকী নিত্যানন্দ সহজে দয়াময়, রঘুনাথে করে কিছু হইয়া সদয়.
Lord Nityananda was by nature very merciful and funny. Being merciful, he spoke to Raghunath Das as follows.
নিকটে না আইসো চোরা ভাগ দূরে দূরে, আজি লাগো পাইয়াছি দণ্ডিমু তোমারে.
You are just like a thief, for instead of coming near, you stay away at a distant place. Now that I have captured you, I shall punish you.
দধিচিরা ভক্ষণ করাহ মোর গণে, শুনি আনন্দিত হইল রঘুনাথ মনে.
Make a festival and feed all my devotees, yogurt and chipped rice. Hearing this, Raghunath Das was greatly pleased.
সেইখানে নিজ লোক পাঠাইলা গ্রামে, ভক্ষদ্রব্য লোক সব গ্রাম হইতে আনে.
Raghunath Das immediately sent his own men to the village to purchase all kinds of eatables and bring them back.
চিরা দহি দুগ্ধ সন্দেশ আর চিনি কলা, সব দ্রব্য আনাইয়া চৌদিকে ধরিলা.
Raghunath Das brought chipped rice, yogurt, milk, sweetmeats, sugar, bananas and other eatables and placed them all around.
মহোৎসব নাম শুনি ব্রাহ্মণ সজ্জন, আসিতে লাগিল লোক অসংখ্য গণন.
As soon as they heard that a festival was going to be held, all kinds of brahmanas and other gentlemen began to arrive. Thus there were innumerable people.
আরো গামান্তর হইতে সামগ্রী আনিল, শত দুই চারি হল না তাহা আনাইল.
Seeing the crowd increasing, Raghunath Das arranged to get more eatables from other villages. He also brought 200 to 400 large round earthen pots.
বড় বড় মৃত্তিকা কুণ্ডিকা আনাইল, পাঁচ সাথে এক বিপ্রা প্রভু লাগি চিরা ভিজায় তাতে.
He also obtained 5 or 7 especially large earthen pots, and in these pots a brahmana began soaking chipped rice for the satisfaction of Lord Nityananda.
একঠাই তপ্তে দুগ্ধে চিরা ভিজাইয়া, অর্ধেক ছানিল দধি চিনি কলা দিয়া.
In one place chipped rice was soaked in hot milk in each of the large pots. Then half the rice was mixed with yogurt, sugar and bananas.
আরো অর্ধেক ঘনাবৃত দুগ্ধেতে ছানিল, চাঁপা কলা চিনি ঘৃত কর্পূর তাতে দিল.
The other half was mixed with condensed milk and a special type of banana known as champakala. Then sugar, clarified butter and camphor were added.
ধুতি পরি প্রভু যদি পিণ্ডাতে বসিল, Satakundi Biprotar Agete Dhorila.
After Nityananda Prabhu had changed his cloth for a new one and sat on a raised platform, the Brahmana brought before him the 7 large pots, 7 huge pots.
Chabutara upore jato prabhura nijagane bara bara lok boshila mandali rachane.
On that platform, all the most important associates of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, as well as other important men, sat down in a circle around the Lord.
Ramadas Sundarananda Dasa Gadadhar Murari Kamalakar Sadashiva Purandar.
Among them were Ramadasa, Sundarananda, Gadadhar Dasa, Murari, Kamalakara, Sadashiv and Purandara.
Dhananjay Jagadish Parameshwar Das Mahesh Gauri Das Hor Krishna Das.
Dhananjaya, Jagadish, Parameshwar Das, Mahesh, Gauri Das and Hoda Krishna Das were also there.
Uddharan Datta Adi Jata Nijagan Upare Bashila Jab Ke Kare Ganan.
Similarly, Uddharana Datta Thakur and many other personal associates of the Lord sat on the raised platform with Nityanand Prabhu. No one could count them all.
Shuni Pandit Bhattacharya Jata Vipra Aila Manna Kari Prabhu Sabari Upare Basaila.
Hearing about the festival, all kinds of learned scholars, brahmanas and priests went there. Lord Nityananda Prabhu honored them and made them sit on the raised platform with him.
Dui Dui Mritkundika Sabar Age Dilo Ek Dugdho Chira Are Dodhi Chira Koilo.
Everyone was offered 2 earthen pots. In one was put chipped rice with condensed milk and in the other chipped rice with yogurt.
আর যত লোক সব চৌতারা তলানে মণ্ডলী বন্ধে বসিলা তার না হয় গণনে.
All the other people sat in groups around the platform. No one could count how many people were there.
এক এক জনরে দুই দুই হল না দিল দধি চিরা দুগ্ধ চিরা দুইতে ভিজাইল.
Each and every one of them was supplied 2 earthen pots, one of chipped rice soaked in yogurt and the other of chipped rice soaked in condensed milk.
কোনো কোনো বিপ্র উপরে স্থান না পাইয়া দুই হল নাই চিরা ভিজায় গঙ্গা তীরে গিয়া.
Some of the brahmanas, not having gotten a place on the platform, went to the bank of the Ganges with their 2 earthen pots and soaked their chipped rice there.
তীরে স্থান না পাইয়া আর কতজন জলে নামি দধি চিরা করায় ভক্ষণ.
Others who could not get a place even on the bank of the Ganges got down into the water and began eating their 2 kinds of chipped rice.
কেহ উপরে কেহ তলে কেহ গঙ্গা তীরে বিশ্বজন 3 ঠাই পরিবেশন করে.
Thus some sat on the platform, some at the base of the platform and some on the bank of the Ganges, and they were all supplied 2 pots each by the 20 men who distributed the food.
হেনকালে আইলা তথা রাঘব পণ্ডিত হাসিতে লাগিলা দেখি হইয়া বিস্মিত.
At that time, Raghava Pandit arrived there. Seeing the situation, he began to laugh in great surprise.
না সকরি নানা মাত প্রসাদ আনিলা প্রভুরে আগে দিয়া ভক্তগণে বাটি দিলা.
He brought many kinds of food cooked in ghee and offered to the Lord. This prasadam he first placed before Lord Nityananda and then distributed among the devotees.
প্রভুরে কহে তোমা লাগি ভোগ লাগাইল তুমি ইহা উৎসব করো ঘরে প্রসাদ রহিল.
Raghava Pandit said to Lord Nityananda, "For you, sir, I have already offered food to the deity, But you're engaged in a festival here, and so the food is lying there untouched.
প্রভু কহে এ দ্রব্য দিনে করিয়ে ভোজন রাত্রে তোমার ঘরে প্রসাদ করিমু ভক্ষণ
Lord Nityananda replied, "Let me eat all this food here during the day, and I shall eat at your home at night."
গোপজাতি আমি বহু গোপগণ সঙ্গে আমি সুখ পাই এই পুলিন ভজন রঙ্গে
I belong to a community of cowherd boys, and therefore I generally have many cowherd associates with me. I am happy when we eat together in a picnic like this by the sandy bank of the river.
রাঘবে বসাইয়া দুই কুণ্ডলী দেওয়াইলা রাঘব দ্বিবিধ চিরা তাতে ভিজাইলা
Lord Nityananda made Raghava Pandit sit down and had 2 pots delivered to him also. There were 2 kinds of chipped rice soaked in them.
সকল লোকের চিরা পূর্ণ যাবে হইল ধ্যানে তবে প্রভু মহাপ্রভুরে আনিল
When chipped rice had been served to everyone, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, in meditation, brought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
মহাপ্রভু আইলা দেখি নিতাই উঠিলা তারে লইয়া সবার চিরা দেখিতে লাগিলা
When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived, Lord Nityananda Prabhu stood up. They then saw how the others were enjoying the chipped rice with yogurt and condensed milk.
সকল কুণ্ডির হোলনার চিরা এক এক গ্রাস মহাপ্রভু মুখে দান করি পরিহাস
From each and every pot, Lord Nityananda Prabhu took one morsel of chipped rice and pushed it into the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a joke.
হাসি মহাপ্রভু আর এক গ্রাস লইয়া তার মুখে দিয়া খাওয়ায় হাসিয়া হাসিয়া
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also smiling, took a morsel of food, pushed it into the mouth of Nityananda and laughed as he made Lord Nityananda eat it.
এই মতো নিতাই বুলে সকল মণ্ডলে দণ্ডায়া রঙ্গ দেখে বৈষ্ণব সকলে
In this way, Lord Nityananda was walking through all the groups of eaters, and all the Vaishnavas standing there were seeing the fun.
কি করিয়া বেড়ায় ইহা কেহ নাহি জানে মহাপ্রভুর দর্শন পায় কোন ভাগ্যবানে
No one could understand what Nityananda Prabhu was doing as he walked about. Some, however, who were very fortunate could see that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also present.
তবে হাসি নিত্যানন্দ বলিলা আসনে চারি কুণ্ডি আর চিরা রাখিলা ডাহিনে
Then Nityananda Prabhu smiled and sat down. On his right side he kept 4 pots of chipped rice that had not been made from boiled paddy.
আসন দিয়া মহাপ্রভুরে তাহা বসাইলা দুই ভাই তবে চিরা খাইতে লাগিলা
Lord Nityananda offered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a place and had him sit down. Then together the 2 brothers began eating chipped rice.
দেখি নিত্যানন্দ প্রভু আনন্দিত হইলা কত কত ভাগ্য বেশ প্রকাশ করিলা
Seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eating with him, Lord Nityananda Prabhu became very happy and exhibited varieties of ecstatic love.
আজ্ঞা দিলা হরি বলি করহ ভোজন হরি 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 ধনি উঠি ভরিল ভুবন
Lord Nityananda Prabhu ordered, "All of you eat, chanting the holy name of Hari." Immediately, the holy names Hari Hari resounded, filling the entire universe.
হরি হরি বলি বৈষ্ণব করে ভোজন পুলিন ভোজন সবার হইল স্মরণ
When all the Vaishnavas were chanting the holy names Hari Hari and eating, they remembered how Krishna and Balaram ate with their companions, the cowherd boys, on the bank of the Jamuna.
নিত্যানন্দ মহাপ্রভু কৃপালু উদার রঘুনাথের ভাগ্যে এত কইলা অঙ্গীকার
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu are extremely merciful and liberal. It was Raghunath Das's good fortune that they accepted all these dealings.
নিত্যানন্দ প্রভাব কৃপা জানিবে কোনজন মহাপ্রভু আনি করায় পুলিন ভোজন
Who can understand the influence and mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu? He is so powerful that he induced Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come eat chipped rice on the bank of the Ganges.
শ্রী রামা দাস আদি গোপ প্রেমবিষ্ট হইলা গঙ্গা তীরে যমুনা পুলিন জ্ঞান কইলা
All the confidential devotees who were cowherd boys headed by Sri Ramadasa were absorbed in ecstatic love. They thought the bank of Ganga to be bank of the Yamuna.
মহোৎসব শুনি পশারি নানা গ্রাম হইতে দধি চিরা সন্দেশ কলা আনিল বেচিতে.
When the shopkeepers of many other villages heard about the festival, they arrived there to sell chipped rice, yogurt, sweetmeats, and bananas.
যত দ্রব্য লইয়া আইসে সবমূল্য করিলয়, তার দ্রব্য মূল্য দিয়া তাহারে খাওয়ায়.
As they came, bringing all kinds of food, Raghunath Dasa purchased it all. He gave them the price for their goods and later fed them with the very same food.
কৌতুক দেখিতে আইল যত যত জন, সেই চিরা দধি কলা করিল ভক্ষণ.
Anyone who came to see how these funny things were going on was also fed chipped rice, yogurt, and bananas.
ভোজন করি নিত্যানন্দ আচমন কইলা, চারি কুণ্ডির অবশেষ রঘুনাথে দিলা.
After Lord Nityanand Prabhu finished eating, he washed his hands and mouth and gave Raghunath Dasa the food remaining in the 4 pots.
আরো 3 কুণ্ডিকায় অবশেষ ছিল, গ্রাসে গ্রাসে করি বিপ্র সব ভক্তে দিল.
There was food remaining in the 3 other big pots of Lord Nityanand, and a Brahman distributed it all to all the devotees, giving them morsels to each.
পুষ্পমালা বিপ্র আনি প্রভু গলে দিল, চন্দন আনি প্রভুর সর্বাঙ্গে লেপিল.
Then a Brahmana brought a flower garland, placed the garland on Nityanand Prabhu's neck, and smeared sandalwood pulp all over his body.
সেবক তাম্বুল লইয়া করে সমর্পণ, হাসিয়া হাসিয়া প্রভু করে চর্বণ.
When a servant brought betel nuts and offered them to Lord Nityanand, the Lord smiled and chewed them.
মালা চন্দন তাম্বুল শেষ যে আছিল, শ্রীহস্তে প্রভু তাহা সবাকারে বাটি দিল.
With his own hands, Lord Nityanand Prabhu distributed to all the devotees whatever flower garlands, sandalwood pulp, and betel nuts remained.
আনন্দিত রঘুনাথ প্রভুর শেষ পাইয়া, আপনার গণসহ খাইল বাটিয়া.
After receiving the remnants of food left by Lord Nityanand, Prabhu Raghunath Dasa, who was greatly happy, ate some and distributed the rest among his own associates.
এই তো কহিল নিত্যানন্দের বিহার, চিরা দধি মহোৎসব নামে খ্যাতি যার.
Thus I have described the pastimes of Lord Nityanand Prabhu in relation to the celebrated festival of chipped rice and yogurt.
প্রভু বিশ্রাম কইলা যদি দিন শেষ হইলা, রাঘব মন্দিরে তবে কীর্তন আরম্ভিলা.
Nityanand Prabhu rested for the day, and when the day ended, he went to the temple of Raghava Pandit and began congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord.
ভক্ত সব নাচাইয়া নিত্যানন্দ রায়, শেষে নৃত্য করে প্রেমে জগত ভাষায়.
Lord Nityanand Prabhu first influenced all the devotees to a dance, and finally he himself began dancing, thus inundating the entire world in ecstatic love.
মহাপ্রভু তার নৃত্য করেন দর্শন, সবে নিত্যানন্দ দেখে না দেখে অন্যজন.
Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was observing the dancing of Lord Nityanand Prabhu. Nityanand Prabhu could see this, but the others could not.
নিত্যানন্দের নৃত্য যেন তাহার নর্তনে, উপমা দিবার নাহি এ তিন ভুবনে.
The dancing of Lord Nityanand Prabhu, like the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, cannot be compared to anything within these 3 worlds.
নৃত্যের মাধুরী কেবা বর্ণিবারে পারে, মহাপ্রভু আইসে যে নৃত্য দেখিবারে.
No one can properly describe the sweetness of Lord Nityananda's dancing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally comes to see it.
নৃত্য করি প্রভু যাবে বিশ্রাম করিলা, ভোজনের লাগি পণ্ডিত নিবেদন কইলা.
After the dancing and after Lord Nityananda had rested, Raghav Pandit submitted his request that the Lord take supper.
So, we are fortunate to be able to read the pastime of Panihati. So, next describes how Raghunath Das Goswami was able to leave home, and then it also describes how he surrendered to the Lord. It's a whole 6th chapter of Antalila. It's a big chapter, and it describes all these different pastimes. So we are so fortunate that we have the ability to absorb, because the life is so short. It's like Kamala Dalajala Jivana Talamala. Any moment it just finishes. But by Prabhupada's mercy, we can read these pastimes, and immediately you feel some satisfaction. As soon as you read, there is a satisfaction right there. So this is the only thing that can give us satisfaction. This is the real thing that can actually satisfy the soul. The love that everybody is looking for, the hankering, can be satisfied only in devotional service, reading the Lord's pastime and coming to the temple and absorbing ourselves in the kirtan meditation. You have any comments, anybody? Okay, so please continue reading this, especially this week. We can absorb ourselves in reading this 6th chapter of Antalila. So we just read till the Panihati, but there is a lot more after that. How Raghunath Das Goswami, he leaves, and then he goes to, and then his interaction with Mahaprabhu. Just imagine that it's like somebody did a video recording, and just we are able to see it. What a great fortune, right? What Mahaprabhu did, what he spoke, what was the interaction, how Nityananda Prabhu looked like, who were the devotees, what exactly they did on that day. We have that video thing available here. All you have to do is just open and read this. So let's, this week, these festivals are for that purpose also, so that we can meditate on those pastimes and also take some lessons out of it. So, yes, Prabhuji.
But once you... I know you said you can read anytime, but the way you told us, like in a story way, that's more, efficient, and you grasp it more when somebody tells you and you listen to it. So we really enjoyed the way you told us before reading this. Thank you.
If anything good I spoke that satisfied or inspired her, that I stole from the previous acharyas. It's nothing mine. Anything bad I spoke, that's mine. So it's our great fortune that Kaviraj Goswami has. Actually, that video thing is available right here. So, and it's Prabhupada mercy. So we are really greatly indebted. And to summarize, we saw a couple of lessons that we can take from this pastime. One is, we saw how Raghunath Das Goswami met with Haridas Thakur, right? So even a moment's association with a pure devotee can reawaken that hankering for the Lord, that the devotion, it can rekindle. It has the power. That's why that is the most precious thing in this world. And that is why Raghunath left his $1 billion and he is running towards what in the cave Haridas Thakur has. Apparently nothing, but he has Krishna Prem in his heart. So let's pray that we can also get the same hankering, the same taste. Today I don't have that taste. I have taste for money and other things. But late by Krishna's mercy, let me get that taste. Let all of us, you can pray that. And we also saw, that is one pastime, we also saw how Raghunath Das Goswami, he was so humble. And in that humility he was so renounced. See, not just renunciation, but in that mood, on that hued. Because sometimes the austerity can make us proud and hard-hearted. We become more like a Smartha Brahmins. Not this, not that, this, that. But he was feeling humble. I'm disqualified. I'm spending time in sense gratification. What is that sense gratification? 1 cup of buttermilk in few days. That also he'll forget sometimes because he was so absorbed. So that humility, 1,000 times he would offer obeisances, right? So He was a personification. He's a Prayojan Acharya. He's teaching by his example. And we can follow in his footsteps that humility. And also we saw how he took Lord Nityananda Prabhu's shelter. So Nityananda Prabhu is the most merciful. He delivered so many people. So we also have so many obstacles, right, in our life which we can never overcome. Because Krishna tells Mama Maya that if Krishna tells it is difficult, means it's really difficult. But Krishna's mercy is more powerful than that, Mama Maya. So that's why we should beg for Lord Nityananda Prabhu's mercy, that we get the taste, we become sincere. Like Raghunath Das Goswami, we become humble. We have nothing, still we are trying to show off. Raghunath had so many things, still he is offering obeisances from a distance. At night he is taking that thing. So let's pray to the Lord that we get rid of this show-off mentality, which is a disease, trying to be in the center of the universe, even in devotional life. So let's pray that we can genuinely, truly, humbly, we can become a genuine devotee. We can get a taste of the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And we saw how he was running for 12 days, right, in a forest. Billions of dollars chasing him, his parents are chasing and he's running. So that intensity. So let's pray that we also get that. So yes, Prabhuji.
Well, what really spoke to me this time somehow or other, maybe by your mercy, it's coming out that it's really funny. It's a really funny festival because Raghava Pandit shows up and he laughs. And, one thing that's funny is that Raghunath Das, he's wealthy enough that even because there's almost unlimited people, his wealth is such that he could have been rice, dal, sabji, he could have been so many preps, yes. But the only thing that Nityananda asked him is to make the cheapest. So that's one thing that's funny. The other thing that's funny is that whoever showed up with their goods, all was bought, all for the, the same price. Because usually, hey, if I'm going to buy everything that you have, give me half price. But no, everyone got the price. And then on top of that, I just bought all your stuff. Now, with that stuff I'm going to cook, I'm going to feed you that same stuff back to you. and so when I try to study it, then I'm a bit of an analyst. But now that I'm hearing, I can, get the mood. But what is an indication for me sometimes in the text is what is mentioned and is it significant? Because Kaviraj doesn't have much time. And so whatever he mentions is actually significant. So when I heard it's like, okay, well they got the same price and they got fed, it must be significant. Because if it wasn't significant, he actually wouldn't have written it down. So thank you very much for bringing out so much joy that this pastime actually has in it. So thank you.
Thank you. And another lesson that we can take also is how much they were absorbed, right? So whatever we are doing, we can also be absorbed. It's an opportunity, right? Hearing Krishna Gatha, or serving the Lord, or Kirtan, or whatever we are doing. All of us have some seva. But when we absorb ourselves, then, it truly we can get the mercy and the shelter. Just see how this Kirtan Bharti with Lord Nityananda, they are so absorbed that the direction they were deviating 4 hours. Again they deviating direction 4 hours, right? But somehow by Lord's mercy they reached. And they had Kirtan for 3 months. Can you imagine? And then nobody was feeling hungry, so basically they transcendent. Somebody is standing on a leaf by the mercy of the holy name. On a leaf. That same banyan tree is still there in Panihati. We can go chant 1 or 2 rounds, or 4 rounds. It's very near to Calcutta on the way to Mayapur. So again the lesson is, the absorption is the key here, the focus. So let us be absorbed, let us have the taste. Then the holy name can reveal ourselves to us. Then it can unlock. It can unlock the mercy, the humility, the absorption. So thank you very much. And Srila Prabhupada ki jai.